send the announcement to Valerie and Sherry to let them know that I'm live, because YouTube does not announce it to them unless they're here already, because they might be here already, because I go live on Friday night at 9:30-ish all the time. I'm a little bit late today, but I do. And what we're going to talk about today is we're going to look at things that we're going to look at a skill that I learned on WhatNot. And I want to talk a little bit about WhatNot because, you know, there's some things that are iffy at best on WhatNot. So let me see. Let's see. It doesn't look like anybody's in here yet. Oh, look, somebody's in here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Because there's 2 thumbs up, so somebody's in here. Woot! All right, let me get the link so that I can send this to them, and then I will talk to y'all about it. And I will get ready for the paper weaving, because the paper weaving is something that I learned on WhatNot, and it is so cool. Oh my gosh, I absolutely loved the idea of doing it. So definitely want to show you that. I learned it from a site, from a seller on WhatNot called The Paper Alchemy. So it's not me, it's not mine. I didn't come up with this. I learned it from The Paper Alchemy, and I think that The Paper Alchemy learned it from someone else too. Wait, why am I on that? That's not what I want to be on. Stop. Go back. Go back. How did I get on that? All right, move that. Sorry, I ended up where I didn't want to be on YouTube. All right, here we go. Your channel live. All right, here I am. Now I can look at the chat, see who all is in here. Woot, 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 woot. Chat filter all messages and community moderation, participant mode subscribers for 5 minutes or longer. There we go. Done. All right, here we go. It says there's 3 people watching. No chats yet. All right, so this is paper weaving. And I'm going to use these big sheets of paper that I have that are ones that I'm not going to use in something else, because that's just not, it's not really in my wheelhouse to use big sheets of paper like this. I'm going to use these for paper weaving, and I think that they'll be beautiful for that. And it's not in my wheelhouse to use pieces of paper that are full images. So this is what I'm going to be doing with this, is I'm going to be using this to do my paper weaving. And again, this is a skill that I learned on WhatNot from a seller called The Paper Alchemy. So, and while we're here, I'm going to talk about WhatNot. And one of the things that everybody gets wrong about WhatNot, and everybody messes up on WhatNot, and I mean everybody messes it up, and even me, I've been selling on WhatNot for, well, I don't know, a month and a half now, so I'm by far not a seasoned seller. Okay, don't think of me as the guru of WhatNot, because I'm really not. But I do have some insight on some of the things that I have learned, because I have a scientist's brain, so I test things, and I go around and I do research, and then I test things, then I do research, and then I test things. Hey, Doris, welcome, welcome, welcome. We'll be talking about our favorite site, WhatNot, and I'm going to be doing paper weaving, because it's really cool, and I want to share the whole thing about paper weaving. All right, so first thing I need to do is I need to cut some of these into smaller strips. And they don't have to be identical in size, but I'm going to use this as the background of my paper weaving. So this is going to be the one that I'm going to use to weave. And then I'm going to cut the rest of these into smaller strips. So, happy Friday night. Yes, happy Friday night. Woot, 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 woot. Let me get all the holes in the paper lined up the same direction, because this paper has holes in it. I don't want the holes. I don't want to, because this paper has holes in it, because it came from a paper pad. So I don't want to do that. Bob and weave, I know, right? But I don't want to use the pieces that have holes in it. So I'm just going to cut these into strips. And that's all I'm going to do, is I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to cut this into strips. I'm going to raise this up just a little bit more so that we can see it a little bit better. And cut these into strips. And I just need strips. And they don't need to be the same size strips. So I'm not really being careful on my measurement here. I'm just cutting some strips, because I need these to be strips. And once I get done cutting these, then I'm going to be able to do some paper weaving. And I need some thinner ones, so we'll cut some thinner ones. I hope everybody's having a good evening. If you would please let me know where you're watching from. Normally my chat is a lot more chatty. So I'm thinking that many of my usual viewers aren't here, but we play bingo. If you go to the description, you can find the link to to the Facebook group, and we play bingo on Friday nights because I'm constantly doing weird, silly, wonderful things, and I do it in my WhatNots too. And it's not intentional. I'm not sitting there going, "Oh, I'm going to do a weird, silly, wonderful thing." No, that's not it. That's not it at all. I literally, I'm just I'm just a little, I'm a little scatterbrained, and so I do that. Hi, Erica, makes plans. Hi, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so I need to get this on down too. You have this paper. I know it's a beautiful paper pad, but I just will never really use anything that is a big pattern like this. So I'm just cutting it down so that I can do it. And that one was just to cut the hole off the end of it because I don't want that. Oh, wait, there's a line there. There's a line where it's 12 by 12. Okay, so there we go. So that's how it lines up. 12 by 12 right there. So there we go. Whoops, missed it. Whoops, whoopsies. But we play bingo on this because I do silly things, and it's not intentional. I'm not intentionally doing silly things. And there are things that make an appearance all the time and stuff like that. So, you know, we just do that. Hi, Sherry. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Ooh, I got an ad. I got a pop-up ad. Well, there we go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to see you're here. Did you get the notification from WhatNot, or did you get the notification from YouTube, or did you get the notification from me that I sent it to you? Because Sherry, for some reason, Sherry, you can see her name is green. Sherry is a member of my channel. That's what the green name means. That means that she is a member of my channel, and YouTube does not tell her when I go live, and that annoys me. So, okay, it says Mary Alice, but it has another name on there. Interesting. Interesting. So what happened to your account? Because I know, Mary Alice, you've been in here, but I don't understand what happened to your account. Using hubby's model building channel tonight. Alrighty then. Use hubby's model building channel then. There we go. And dun, da, da, da. So I'm just using this to make a little line because I need to make a line on it. Do I have a thinner one? And I just need to make a line through here so that I know how far to end my cuts, because I want to make the cuts the same length. That's one of the important things about this, is that you make these cuts the same length when you're making the cuts on the paper. So I'm going to use this to make a straight line on there. And I'm just going to use this little gold pen. And this is on the back of the paper, so it doesn't matter what you do this in because it's not going to show. So I'm just going to make this as a straight line. And then I'll finish the straight line on the other side after I've made this part of the straight line. So there we go. And then I'll finish it out on this end just by lining it up there. And then I'll finish out the straight line on that end. So there we go. So that's my straight line. So that is the length to which I'm going to cut. And then I'm going to take Eddie. Eddie is one of the things on most people's bingo cards, is Eddie right here. And like I said, the bingo cards are posted in the Facebook group called Chatty Crafty, which the link is in the description for this. But Eddie right here, this is what we use, and that's Brucey right there. I don't know if you can see her yet, but Brucey is making an appearance, and I don't want to have the scissors open while Brucey's there, so I'm going to set those down for a moment while we enjoy the cuteness that is little Miss Brucey Brucey. Little Miss Brucey Brucey. Yes, you're such a cute little girl. Yes, you are. You're so cute. It's hard to believe that she's like 10 months old now. It's so crazy to think that she's been with us for that long. What? Let's see. I didn't get the notification for. I got the one from you just now. Okay, yeah. So YouTube's still not. See, I don't understand why YouTube is not notifying my members when I go live. So if you are a member of my channel, you're not getting notifications, send me a message through Facebook, and I will send you the link every time I go live. I have no problem doing that because it's kind of annoying that YouTube isn't doing their job and I'm having to do YouTube's job. I'm just saying. All right, so this is on the floor. So this is Eddie. This is the best pair of crafting scissors I've ever owned, and they are not crafting scissors. They are actually sheep shears. These are sheep shearing scissors. Yay! Valerie is in the house. Hey, Valerie! Woot, 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 woot. So these are sheep shearing scissors, and these are the best crafting shears I have ever had. And it's just awesome because I can just sit here and I can make these cuts almost in one fell swoop. So I'm just cutting the paper about the even length. These don't have to be perfectly even either, but I'm trying to make them about even. And just running down to that line. I'm just cutting down to that line using my beautiful, wonderful sheep shearing scissors. And then we're gonna weave this paper together. And the things that I want to say about WhatNot, all right, because I'm also going to talk about WhatNot. Like I said, I've been a seller on WhatNot for a little over a month and a half now, and I'm by far not the most knowledgeable seller on WhatNot, but I will tell you the little things that I have discovered. First things first is there is a way to set a spending limit on WhatNot. If you go into your account and you go to account controls, if you go down to account, which is the little symbol in the lower right-hand corner, and then you go to account controls. One of them is spending controls. You can limit the amount of time you're on WhatNot. You can limit the amount of money you spend on WhatNot. But it's important to understand one thing about if you limit the amount of money that you can spend on WhatNot. If you set your limit for $25 a week and you spend $24, WhatNot is not going to cap your next purchase at $1. WhatNot will let you make one more purchase, and that purchase can be $10,000, but WhatNot will let you make it. And then they will cap what you're sending. Then they will tell you that you can't spend anymore. And I didn't get these perfectly straight, so this is going to be an interesting weave. You can see that some of these are a little bit crooked, but it should still work. And then you just take strips of paper and you just start weaving them. You literally just start weaving your paper like this. So you can set limits on your spending, but remember that WhatNot does not limit you to the exact amount. They limit you to once you go over that amount. All right, and that's an important distinction because that is still getting people into trouble because they're sitting there saying, well, I limited my spending, and that WhatNot let them spend one more time, and that one more time was a big expenditure. All right, number two, another thing about WhatNot is that candy rooms are addictive and dangerous. So if you have, like candy, there are candy rooms on there. And I will give you my recommendation for candy room if you want to see what a candy room is like, but I'm going to forewarn you that candy rooms are addictive and dangerous. The one that I like is one that's called Lots of Snacks, and it's all one word, Lots of Snacks, no underscores, no anything like that. And the reason that I like Lots of Snacks is because they don't talk. It's just a soundtrack, and one of the songs in the soundtrack is about not unaliving yourself. And since I constantly am saying that I'm out here unaliving loudly in the hopes that others don't unalive quietly, that soundtrack appeals to me. So that's why I watch Lots of Snacks, and it's just a soundtrack. But it is very easy to get caught up, and if this is in any candy room, it is very easy to get caught up in it, especially if you have an addictive shopping personality. And there are people that are addicted to shopping, and I highly recommend that anybody who's addicted to shopping not get on WhatNot at all. I mean, absolutely eschew WhatNot like people are supposed to eschew the plague. It doesn't really work to say avoid it like the plague, because apparently we don't avoid things like the plague at all, as evidenced by the number of Americans that passed away during COVID. We don't avoid things like the plague, but so avoid it like you're supposed to avoid the plague. Put it that way. But yeah, if you have an addictive shopping personality, please don't get on WhatNot. It is absolutely, it's a slippery slope. But look how pretty that's looking. I mean, you can already see how beautiful that is. And this is just paper, and I am just weaving strips of paper through here. And I'm not really using any rhyme or reason when I'm doing this. I'm just grabbing a strip of paper, and I'm just doing the weaving. And like I said, I learned this from a WhatNot seller called Paper Alchemy, and I think she learned it from someone else. So this is not exclusive to me. This is not my idea. I'm just showing it to you because, I'm on YouTube, and people might look at YouTube and see it here where they might not have seen it on... I think that Paper Alchemy got it off of TikTok or Instagram. So, it's one of those things. I'm spreading it around so that other people have the opportunity to see it like that. So, I have been here early the last 2 times, so not sure about notices. Oh, okay. Hi, everyone. Sorry I'm late. I forgot it's Friday. Oh, yep, it's Friday. Oh, Friday. Yay. Another thing about WhatNot is that shipping is the worst thing ever, and everybody hates the shipping on WhatNot. The shipping settings on WhatNot are confusing. The shipping settings on WhatNot are insane. And the shipping things through the United States Postal Service has, you know, its own set of oh my gosh, shipping things through the United States Postal Service is its own complete and total thing right in and of itself. Like I made a mistake. It was my mistake because WhatNot will let you make mistakes like this. And I shipped a flat rate priority box using a Ground Advantage label. All right. It got all the way from Florida to New York. The entire distance. It went the entire distance from Florida to New York. The entire way. And once it got to New York, somebody said, oh, look, this is a flat rate shipping box with a priority label on, or this is a priority mailbox with a flat rate label on it. Can't let this go through. Not possible. Can't let it happen. And sent it all the way back to Florida. And then had to resend it, okay? Then, today, in the mail, I get this. So this came to my mail address, and I have redacted the person who sent it to me. But this is a priority mailbox with a Ground Advantage label on it that got delivered today. So I'm not really sure where the disconnect is with the United States Postal Service, because this should not have made it to me at all. And notice that this is a post office box. Okay, my address is a post office box. So this not only went through the entire postal system, it terminated at a post office who had plenty of time to sit there and look at it and go, oh, wow, that's Ground Advantage. That's a priority mailbox. That shouldn't have come here. You know, so I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all, what's going on with the United States Postal Service, okay? But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about WhatNot. All right, WhatNot shipping is crazy because if I want to ship something, see, the thing with eBay, if I list it on eBay, I can sit there and say, well, this is going to be media mail. And if I want to list another item that is not media, then I can say, well, this is going to be priority shipping because it's huge and it's just cheapest to send it priority. And then I can say, well, this is going to be Ground Advantage and this is going to be first class mail. You know, I can do all of those things. Every time I do a listing on eBay, I can sit there and say, this is the type of shipping I want to use. On WhatNot, you have a setting outside of your shows where you set up what the overall overarching idea is going to be. And there are very, very, very few options. It's the United States Postal Service or the United States Postal Service or the United States Postal Service. And the reason that WhatNot does that is because they're making a lot of money off of that. And I'll explain that in a moment. But if I want to do media mail, then I have to set my first setting to, well, the first setting, the less than a pound, it has to be set as Ground Advantage. Or first class mail. The 1 pound to 5 pound setting has to be set as Ground Advantage. It can't be set as flat rate mail. And then the last one also has to be set at Ground Advantage. It can't be set as flat rate mail, which means that if I want to sell media items in a WhatNot show, all I can sell are things that can go media mail. Because otherwise people are going to, and I have to list it as something that is media, like books or DVDs or CDs. I have to list it as something that is media. And if I don't do that, if I sell something else in that show, it's going to be sent as Ground Advantage. So if somebody buys, you know, an item that would be like $9.21 to send on WhatNot if they used priority, but the fact that I can't set the thing for priority, it's going to go as media, as Ground Advantage, they're going to pay $30, $40 to ship that item because it's heavy. And there's no way to do it within the show as item by item by item and say that this is a book, it goes media mail. You know, this is a tchotchke, it can go priority. There's no way to do that inside the show. You have to do that as the overarching thing for all of WhatNot. And if you forget to click to set this for all upcoming shows, then it's not going to do media mail in your show. And then if you forget to go back and unclick it, you know, change the settings back to what you want them to be, and then, you know, click for, do this for all upcoming shows, then all of your future shows are going to be set for media mail sendings. It is incredibly confusing the way that shipping works on WhatNot. And WhatNot's been around for at least 3 years now, and you'd think they would figure out a way to make it so that they could, you would think they would figure out to write code so that you could do it by item by item by item rather than as by show by show by show. Because if I could do it by item, then I could sit there and say, well, this is a book, it goes media mail, and it weighs this much. This is a embossing folder, and it goes by ground advantage, and it weighs this much. But they don't give me that option, and it would be so easy for them to just put it in there, and they don't. And I don't know why they don't, because everybody complains about shipping on WhatNot. I mean, you can go to, if you just type in shipping on WhatNot in a Google search or in any of the whatever search engine you choose to use, you can see the amount of people that are complaining about it. There are Facebook groups dedicated to trying to figure out how to do shipping on WhatNot. So shipping is a nightmare for buyers and sellers, and it's a nightmare for seasoned sellers, it's a nightmare for new sellers, it's a nightmare for seasoned buyers, it's a nightmare for new buyers. And the reason that WhatNot makes so much money on it is because if I sell this item right here, all right, this right here is an embossing folder, and this embossing folder is 1 to 3 ounces. This particular one actually isn't, but if I had an embossing folder that was 1 to 3 ounces, because I'm given the option of this thing weighs 0 to 1 ounce, or it weighs 1 to 3 ounces, or it weighs 4 to 7 ounces, or it weighs 8 to 12 ounces, or 8 to 11 ounces, or it weighs 12 to 15 ounces, or it weighs a pound, or it weighs 1 pound to 2 pound. And I'm not really sure where 3.5 ounces falls in that. Is 3.5 ounces 1 to 3 ounces, or is 3.5 ounces 4 to 7 ounces? Because if you round it off, it's 4 to 7, and if you don't round it off, it's 1 to 3. So, I mean, honestly, where does 3.5 ounces, if this thing weighed 3.5 ounces, where does that fall in the WhatNot categories? But if I put this up there and say it's 1 to 3 ounces, and you buy this, okay, WhatNot is going to charge you ground advantage for 3 ounces. All right. And then you buy another one. Now, let's say this weighs 1.5 ounces. And then you buy another one. Now WhatNot is charging you for 6 ounces because it's going to add 3 ounces to 3 ounces. It doesn't add 1.5 ounces to 1.5 ounces. It adds 3 ounces to 3 ounces. So you're paying for 6 ounces of shipping on a package that's only 3 ounces. If you buy another one, you're paying 9 ounces of shipping on a package that only weighs 4.5 ounces. If you buy another one, you're paying 12 ounces of shipping on a package that only weighs 6 ounces. And because they use United States Postal Service exclusively, and because all of the tickets, all of the labels are being created by the WhatNot account, the United States Postal Service refunds extra money that's paid. So if you paid 12 ounces shipping and it only weighed 6 ounces, when it gets through the United States Postal Service, they'll sit there and go, oh, well, you paid $2 too much shipping, and they will return that money to this platform, to the account that bought the label. And since all of the labels are being bought by the WhatNot account, that's $2 extra in WhatNot's pocket. So there's that issue. But it goes the other way. If you say that your maximum shipping is $9.21 and you get somebody who's going to end up getting, 10 priority mailboxes, there are ways to go into your account and switch it to be 10 priority mailboxes instead of 1 9-pound shipping, or 1 priority mailbox, and then the other 9 priority mailboxes are up until this point been paid by WhatNot. Now WhatNot is changing that because WhatNot has decided that they don't want to have that many, priority mailboxes sent out there. And I don't know what deal WhatNot made with the United States Postal Service, but if I were to use Pirate Ship, I don't know what it is at the counter, but if I were to use Pirate Ship to mail a flat rate box, a large flat rate package, if I were to use Pirate Ship to do that, then I would pay on Pirate Ship $27.76. And we found that out with the box that I had to send back to Brooklyn. All right. So, the days run together now. Yes, they do. Sorry, I'm late. Forgot it's Friday. No worries, Valerie. No worries whatsoever. I did ask before you got in here, though, did you get the notification from YouTube, or is it just the notification that I sent that you saw that? Because I'm still wondering, because, you and Sherry have the same issue, apparently, that YouTube is not notifying you when I go live, and that annoys me, right? So I don't know what deal they've got, because if I send it through pirate ship, it's $27.76. I have no idea how much it would be if I actually took flat rate priority, large flat rate priority mailbox to the counter in the post office and asked them to mail it, because pirate ship says it's something like a 30% discount. Hi, Lisa. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Only mine this time. Oh, so you only got mine. Okay. See, I don't know why. Why isn't YouTube announcing to people that I am live? Because if anybody that YouTube announces that I go live, it should be the people who have paid to be a member of my channel, like Valerie and Sherry, but they're not getting notifications, and it's annoying. So, hi, Lisa. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, yeah, so I don't know what deal WhatNot has made with the United States Postal Service to get to mail a large flat rate box for $9.21, but they do. All right. I don't know how they did it, but they do. So, you know, honestly, if you have a large flat rate mail box that you want to mail to a friend of yours, and I really do mean this, I am not being facetious here. This is not a joke. If you have a large flat rate mailbox that you want to send to a friend of yours, you know, get that friend to get a WhatNot account, and then you post it as a buy it now, and then your friend buys it as a buy it now. You post it for like $1. Your friend pays, you know, $1 plus $9.21, and then ship it to your friend for $9.21 instead of taking it to the post office or taking it to pirate ship. I mean, seriously. You know, if when Christmas comes around, if that deal is still going on WhatNot, mail all your Christmas presents that way. Absolutely every one of them. Get large flat rate shipping boxes. Make sure that whatever you buy for somebody that you're shipping to them will fit in a large flat rate mailbox, and then post it on WhatNot for $1 and a buy it now. Then your friend gets there and they pay for it. They pay the $1 and they pay the $9.21 shipping, and you can mail it to them for $10 instead of $30 on pirate ship and whatever it would be if you go to the counter. I mean, oh my gosh. I just checked mine, and it checked as preference, and it was checked as preferences, so I switched to all notifications. We'll see next time. Okay, cool. So this is the finished piece of woven paper, and is that not just absolutely stunning? And I do have a little bit extra down here, and I don't know if I can weave another sheet of paper through there. But what they did, what Paper Alchemy did after they got to this point, was they used something called surgical tape. It's paper surgical tape, and they turned it over and they put paper surgical tape over all of it. Now, bear in mind that when you do that, you're only going to touch the paper that is actually exposed. So the piece of paper that is underneath this piece of paper right here, like this is the top piece of paper, the piece of paper that's underneath, that's not going to get touched by the tape. So if you cut off, if you use this as a cutoff, if you use this to cut it down, and use it that way, bear in mind that some of the pieces are not going to be stuck together, and you might have to put a little piece of glue or something in there. But is that not the most beautiful thing right there? I mean, I think that is just absolutely stunning. And it's not steady. It's not sturdy right now. It's absolutely not sturdy right now. As she was saying, if you sneeze, it'll break apart, which, yeah, it will. This is not a sturdy piece of paper yet. But if you were to put this down onto like a design or a card or something like that, and the possibilities are endless with this woven paper idea, because you can make your own papers. You can make your own watercolor papers and just do watercolor splats and watercolor sploots, and then cut them up into strips and then put them together. And if you use watercolor paper, which is heavier, this would be more sturdy and rigid. Because it would be heavier paper. This, like I said, was just paperweight. If you use cardstock, you also get a sturdier paper, but it's not as sturdy as watercolor paper would be. But is that not just the most beautiful thing? I mean, I love the colors of this, and this was one of those inspiration pads. I don't know if this was inspiration or nature or something like that, but this was one of the paper pads that you know, came from Ollie's for $1.99. I'll never use these huge images, but I will definitely use something of this nature because it's really, really cool. This is really fun to look at, and it's really pretty. So yeah, it's just a really pretty one. But WhatNot, I'm not sure where you should go with the information that I'm giving you on WhatNot. Other things that I will tell you about WhatNot is WhatNot really pushes rooms that do auctions and doesn't really push rooms that do claims. And it really pushes rooms that do $1 starts. And the reason that it does that is because WhatNot makes an amazing amount of money on people that do $1 auctions. All right, so I'm just going to use this little piece of scrap paper here to do it. If I do a $1 sale, and then another $1 sale, and then another $1 sale, the fees that WhatNot charges, and it's absolutely true. WhatNot has some of the lowest seller fees in the industry because WhatNot takes 8% of the sales price. Let me pull this down some so you can see it a little bit better. But WhatNot takes 8% of the sales price, and that's absolutely true. All right, and then there is a 2% plus 35 cents credit card fee. So if you use a credit card to, you're going to pay it no matter what. If they use PayPal, if they use credit card, if they use a bank account, it doesn't matter. You're going to pay, the seller is going to lose 2% plus 35 cents. And then there is also a 10 cents, it's about 10 cents, postage fee, where you're paying 10 cents for the honor of having WhatNot print you out a postage label. So this added up comes up to, that's 10%, so that's 10 cents of a dollar sale, 10 cents, 45 cents, 55 cents. So on a dollar sale, it's minus 55 cents on all of them, and all of these only net you 45 cents. Because the rest of that money goes to WhatNot in one form or another. It goes to WhatNot as the 8% seller's commission, the 2% plus 35% credit card fee, or the 10 cents we're going to let you print a postage marker. However, if I sell that, so if I add those three up, 45 plus 45 is 90. So that grand total is $1.35 that I have made as a seller by selling 3 $1 items. But if we go over the other direction and I sell 1 $3 item, instead of 3 $1 items, I sell 1 $3 item. Then I still lose the 30 cents. You know, the 8% and the 2% is totals up to 30 cents. So minus the 30 cents, minus the 35 cents, and minus the 10 cents. Now that is 65, 75 cents. So it's minus 75 cents. So I get $2.25 from that sale. So if I sell 3 $1 items, I get $1.35. If I sell 1 $3 item, I get $2.25, which is why I far prefer to do claim shows. Because if I do a claim show, then I can sit there and put a whole bunch of $1 items together in a bag, and then when a person is ready to check out, they say, I'm ready to check out. I add it all up, and their total is $3, and then I end up getting $2.25 of that. If I do it as auctions where everything sells as $1 each, I only get $1.35 out of it, and the rest of it goes to WhatNot. So if I do a claim show where people gather up $30 worth of stuff, and they pay me in one fell swoop at $30 worth of stuff, then I'm going to lose $3 to the percentage fees, and I'm going to lose 35 cents to the credit card fee, and I'm going to lose 10 cents to the postage thing. And now that postage thing doesn't mean much anymore. I mean, over here in $1, that postage thing is 10% of my sales. Over here, that postage is like 0.03% of my sales. No big deal. So I've lost $3.45. So it's minus $3.45. So of that $30 sale, I get $26.55. All right, which is a full, $4 more than if I did 10 $3 sales. And it is a full whopping massive amount more. I can't do the math in my head that quickly. A whopping massive amount more than if I did 30 $1 sales. Because $31 sales would only get me, what is that? 30 times 45 is, what, $12? So about $12.50, something like that. So if I do $31 sales, I get $12.50. If I do 10 $3 sales, I get $22.50. If I do one $30 sale, I get $26.55, which is why WhatNot doesn't push claim rooms. So I far prefer to shop in claim rooms. I far prefer to do claim rooms, but WhatNot doesn't push me as a seller if I do a claim room. So once a week, I have to sit there and do an auction room so that WhatNot will push me to seller. It's a bizarre system. It is a very bizarre system of being a seller on WhatNot, being a buyer on WhatNot. It is a very bizarre system. There are advantages to WhatNot. The money is much more quickly obtained than if you go through eBay. You get the money a lot faster, especially if you get to your 1,000 sales and you're eligible for a fast payout. I mean, you get your money almost immediately if you get to that point. And as long as you maintain eligible for early payout. So you know, there are advantages to WhatNot, but there are also significant disadvantages as a seller to WhatNot because of the fees. There are significant disadvantages as a buyer on WhatNot because you're getting charged exorbitant shipping costs if you just buy a couple of items. Like I said, if you were to buy these 3 items, and I have them listed as an ounce and a half, you're going to pay 9 ounces worth of shipping, which is like $6 on something that should have been shipped for like $4. So you're paying extra on your shipping. Now, if you get all the way up to the $9.21 flat rate shipping, then, I mean, you know, fill a box, but you're a mathematician. I am not a mathematician. Oh my gosh, Sherry, I am not. I am so not a mathematician. Not by any stretch of the imagination am I a mathematician. The reason that I know these numbers and can go through these numbers as quickly as I did is because I go through these numbers in my WhatNot shows all the time. If you look, I've got them written down up here even. So, I mean, I've got all sorts of notes on this board behind me that y'all can't see because this is my sticker claim show board right there. And so I've got all sorts of notes on it and whatnot. But yeah, so the reason that I can go through these as quickly as I can is because I've done this so many times in the past. But yeah, but I do. I sit there and I talk about that. Now, I will say one other thing about my WhatNot shows. And I go on WhatNot almost every night at the wee hours of the morning, between 12:30 and... I get online between midnight and 12:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and I'm on until the sun comes up. And the reason that I'm doing that is because I have really bad night terrors, and right now they are really bad. And I don't want to risk falling asleep, so I get on WhatNot so I don't fall asleep. So I yammer at people and I sell stickers. And I'm not, and to be honest, I don't even care if people buy stickers. I really don't, which is what I'm getting to. I talk about mental health. I talk about my abuses. I talk about my my traumas. I talk about, you know, aliving loudly in the hopes that other people don't unalive quietly. I will randomly teach science facts that come up. Everybody in my show at some point in time is going to hear about Haddon Sunbloom, just because everybody in my show is going to hear about Haddon Sunbloom. Why does that sound illegal? It's not necessarily illegal because it's in the terms of service that you say, okay, I'm going to allow you to do this. But it shouldn't be done that way. And I really think that at some point in time, somebody is going to open a class action lawsuit against WhatNot for their shipping thing. And then they're going to have to make it so that you can say media mail, a book, in every listing. I think that they're just avoiding it. Another thing that WhatNot does that is illegal is they are allowing sellers to do buyers giveaways and not give people enough time to enter it without making a purchase in the United States of America. And because I'm on WhatNot, I can tell you point blank that the United States is the only country that does this, because the United States is the only country that's mentioned in the WhatNot terms of service for being able to enter a drawing without having to buy anything. You know how every time you see a giveaway or something has no purchase necessary, this is how you enter without purchasing? Well, yeah, there's a way to enter all of the drawings on WhatNot without purchasing anything. And the people that do it are called form fillers. And they're also referred to as givey goblins. And I will openly admit that I am absolutely, in lots of snacks, I am absolutely a form filler and a givey goblin. I will openly admit that. You know, I have an entire pile of boxes of candy right now because I'm a form filler and a givey goblin. And the giveaways are weird because you will win like 10 in a row, and then you won't win another one for like a month. It doesn't matter how many people are entering. You'll like win 10 in one day. So there's something wrong with their random choosing generator too, but we're not going to get into that one right now. But yeah, there's something wrong with the random giving generator. But in order to fill out the form, if you go to, if it's a buyer's giveaway, there is something that says how to enter. And then up here, there's something that says view something or other. I can't remember what it is. But if you click on this one, it opens up a page, a window in WhatNot that's got 2 very long alphanumeric codes. And then it has a little box right there that says view form. And if you click on this one that says view form, And what you do is you just touch one of these. If you're using a touch screen, like your phone or an iPad, if you just touch one of these, it copies it to the clipboard. You don't have to do anything else. You just have to touch it. Open the form. It takes you to a website, and it gives you all the terms of service. And at the very bottom, it says enter form. And then it opens up a box where you have to fill out name, your WhatNot name, your address, and then it has the 2 boxes at the bottom where you have to paste those alphanumeric codes in. So alphanumeric code goes in box 1, alphanumeric code 2 goes in box 2. And then it'll say submit form down here, submit form. And then when you submit it, it says open WhatNot. It changes from saying submit to saying open WhatNot. You open WhatNot, it takes you back to the room that you were in, and then it'll let you enter the giveaway. So you don't actually have to buy anything, but that process takes about, and I'm good at it. Okay, I'm going to tell you, I am really good at filling out this form, and it takes me about 15 to 18 seconds to get it done. So you've got sellers on WhatNot that are and I'm really good at it. Okay, so 15 to 18 seconds is about the limit. Now, I don't have a widget written to do it faster. It's possible that there's a widget written somewhere, that somebody has a widget written that does it faster. I don't. I have to do it manually. But if there is a widget, it can be done even faster than that. But for the layperson who doesn't know how to write widgets like me, it takes me 15 to 18 seconds to get the form filled out. And you have people that are selling on WhatNot that are putting up a giveaway, and then they're running the giveaway like 8 seconds after they start it. They say, if you're a buyer, get in the giveaway because we don't want givey goblins in this. We don't want form fillers in this. And they run it, which means that they are not allowing people to enter the giveaway without purchasing, which is also illegal. And that one is going to get WhatNot in trouble too. And the easiest way to fix that is to make it so that you can't run a giveaway, a buyer's giveaway, until it's been running for 30 seconds. You've got to give the givey goblins 30 seconds to get the form filled out. Because just about anybody can fill out the form in 30 seconds or a minute, but that one's going to get WhatNot in trouble too. Because you have sellers on there that are doing the WhatNot buyer's giveaways faster than they can be entered for free. And the United States of America does not allow people to run giveaways unless there is an option to enter it for free. If you want to enter any lottery for free, you can. I don't know what rigmarole you have to go to get to it, but if you want to enter a lottery for free, you can. There are ways to enter, because everything in the United States is no purchase necessary. Actually, don't quote me on the lottery one, because you're not actually purchasing anything. You're just buying into a pool. Well, the lottery one might not be true. But if you see, like on a Lay's potato chip bag, and I'm not advertising Lay's, I'm not sponsored by them. They're on my mind because I just watched a Walker's commercial, and then the UK, Walker's is the name brand for Lay's because for some reason it changes, and I don't know why. Like here in the United States, TJ Maxx, in the UK it's TK Maxx. I don't know why, but it is. But yeah, if you go in and you see on a Lay's potato chip bag that they're giving away $1 million, there is a way to enter that without buying a bag of Lay's. There has to be. In the United States of America, there has to be a way to enter every giveaway without buying something. So, you can enter these giveaways. All you have to do is read the fine print and figure out how to do it. And if you've ever seen the movie Real Genius, if you haven't seen the movie Real Genius, oh my gosh, you have to see the movie Real Genius. Val Kilmer is like a god in that movie. It is like one of the best movies to come out of the 80s. But that's one of the things, is that one of the people in the movie entered a giveaway like 17,000 times because they were using the no purchase necessary way to do it. But yeah, if you haven't seen the movie Real Genius, oh my gosh, it is an amazing movie. The premise is a little dated because, they're talking about technology that existed in the 80s, which is, a little backwards for what we have now. But yeah, I mean, it was amazing. I loved Real Genius. Val Kilmer was just absolutely stunning in that movie. But yeah, so if you haven't seen Real Genius, but there has to be a way. And those are the two places that WhatNot's going to get in trouble. And I don't know when it's going to happen, but at some point in time, I mean, mark my words, I don't think that this statement is going to age badly. Mark my words, they're going to get in trouble for allowing sellers to run buyers giveaways without giving people enough time to enter without buying something in the United States. That's a United States thing. Okay, that's not a worldwide thing. That's a United States thing. And then the other one is they're going to get in trouble for their shipping practices because they are overcharging certain people for shipping and they are undercharging other people for shipping. And up until this point, they've been covering the undershipping charges, but now they're not anymore. So up until this point, they could argue, okay, yes, we're overcharging this person, but we're undercharging this person, so it's working out, it evens out. Now they're charging sellers if they don't do their shipping correctly. They're charging the sellers for the extra amount of money that they're costing WhatNot for shipping something, but they're not giving the buyers back their money. And just mark my words, there's going to be one, if not two, class action lawsuits against WhatNot at some point in time. Yes, it is an excellent movie. Oh my gosh. It is. Hi, Amira. Amira in the house. Oh, yay. Amira made it. Yay, yay, yay. Amira, I found another sticker pack of yours. You didn't get your lemonade water, your lemon water. Oh no. And I found it like right after my husband left for work, so I couldn't even open your bag and just throw them in because they had already left the building. So I'm so sorry about that. I know. It's so sad. I was like, no. I saw it and I went, no. So you did get many of your bubble ones are in there too. The little watercolor bubble ones, they're in there too. So you didn't get your lemon water and you didn't get your watercolor bubble stickers yet. So, I mean, it's just like, no. What I might do is I might just stick them in an envelope and send them to you. You know, because they're not that heavy. Oh, and is Elena in here? I never saw Elena come in. Did Elena come in? I had something to show Elena too. Did Elena ever come in? Doris. I was thinking of the skinny guy and his EV and the tons of prizes. Okay, they can't do that anymore. What you're talking about, WhatNot has absolutely eliminated. They eliminate WhatNot used to let people bid on the opportunity to pick a prize, you know, and the person who like there was a board with numbers on it, and there were prizes underneath those numbers, and you would bid on the opportunity to pick a prize, and they'd show you a prize that was like, you know, a Birkenstock. I don't even know. What's an expensive bag? Is Gucci still bougie, or have they lost their touch? What's the expensive ones now? I don't know. RV, yeah. Oh, and his RV and tons of prizes, yeah. But they've stopped them from doing that. So they'd pull off one that had this like super bougie like purse in it, you know, like a $10,000 purse. Like, why would anybody pay $10,000 for a purse? You do you. I will never do that. But so they like one of them's a $10,000 purse, and then they would sell the opportunity to buy an opportunity to pick one, and people would be spending $300, $400 on the opportunity to pick a number, and then he'd lift off that number, and there would be something there, and it may or may not be worth the amount that they bid, you know. But it was like this random pick thing, and WhatNot shut that down because there was one person on there, and I don't know who it is. I learned this from Blingology, who is another seller on WhatNot. She's fun to watch, but some of the people in her audience are not polite and not kind. So just bear that in mind, that some people in her audience are not polite and not kind. So there are off-color jokes that get put into her her chat sometimes, so just remember that. And she laughs at them. She doesn't shut them down. So remember that if you go to Blingology. But I learned this from Blingology. There was somebody in there that was getting like $80,000 a night selling these $10,000 purses by chance, but he never actually gave one away. So yeah. I still don't understand Temu prizes. Temu, do you mean Temu or WhatNot? Because if you mean Temu, I can explain them, and they're annoying. Most of the stuff on Temu is not worth what you put into it, unless you really want to buy a lot of stuff. Most of the ones that sit there and say, oh, we've got you a check for $50, and we're going to send you a $50 cash. And then when you click on it, it goes, oh, look, it's your lucky day. It's gone up to $100. Yeah, but you have to buy $400 worth of stuff to get that. All right, it's absolutely true. You will get that $100, but you have to buy $400 worth of stuff to get that. And you can figure out how much you need to do. What do you mean she doesn't shut down the jokes? She laughs at them. She doesn't shut down the jokes. The jokes that were being told when I was in there, when I noticed it, the jokes that were being told were off-color jokes about Catholic priests. And they bothered me, and it took me a while to figure out why they bothered me, because I knew they bothered me, and I didn't figure out. Well, the reason they bother me is that they minimize and they trivialize the trauma that the victims have gone through by making it into a joke. And it took me a while to figure out that that was why it bothered me, but these were jokes that trivialized the trauma of the victims of the Catholic priests, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And it wasn't her telling the jokes, but she wasn't shutting the jokes down. So I don't know. I don't know where you want to go with that. I don't know where you want to. I mean, I absolutely adore the woman who does blingology. She's fun to listen to. And like I said, the person that was telling the jokes was in her chat. But if somebody told jokes like that in my chat, they'd be shut down immediately, and my mods would kick them out. I mean, my mods don't play. They said to buy 2 things and you get $300. Okay, yes, that one, you will actually get $300, and you don't have to buy 2 things to get it. You have to buy 2 things the first time, if you read the rules, because if you look on the upper right-hand corner of Temu, if you look at your phone and you look in the upper right-hand corner of Temu, there is something that says rules. If you actually read the rules, because I do, because of course I do, you know, I'm like the Temu guru at this point. But if you actually read the rules, it says that you buy 2 items for the first purchase, and then that enters you into the opportunity to do another purchase where you have to buy a set number, and you can figure out how much you have to buy, because usually those say we're giving you 5 extra coins, so you get $5 in coins, so you're at like $94, and you get $5 in coins free, so you only need to get $1 more. And so if you place this purchase, we're going to give you $5 in coins, and then you get like 0.03%, which is actually 0.0003 of your purchase that you're doing. And if you work out the math to do that, you actually have to buy something like $257 worth of stuff in the second order in order to get that $300 or $557 worth of stuff. There is a way to figure it out. And it is true. You will eventually get that money, but you have to buy so much. So if you want to buy a couch off of Temu, and wait till they give you that option, because then you're going to pay enough money to get that $300. All right. But if you're not buying a couch off of Temu, or if you're not buying one of their really expensive items, and yes, you can buy couches and furniture off of Temu, if you're not buying one of those really expensive ones, then you're not going to get to the point where you're going to get it. I have done it once because I needed to buy a pop-up tent and some tables. So I knew that I was going to, and it was only $50 that I got, because that was $25. We're going to give you $25. Oh, look, it's your lucky day. It's been doubled to $50. It always doubles. Okay, it always doubles. It's not your lucky day. It always doubles. Always. Just so you know. But I was buying enough stuff that because I bought the pop-up tent and some tables, and they do sell those things on Temu, so you can buy them. You can buy furniture on Temu. You can buy a couch on Temu. You can buy table and chairs on Temu. You can buy really nice desks on Temu. You know, things like that. One of the things that I wanted to buy at one point in time, but I've rearranged what I'm going to do with my craft room, so I'm not going to buy it. But it was a cabinet. It looked like a chest of drawers, but when you opened it up, it turned into a double bed, which I thought was really cool. So you have this little chest of drawers, and you open it up, it's like magic furniture. It turns into a chest of drawers. So yes, you will eventually get that, Cherry, but in order to get that, you have to spend what you're getting plus about another 50%. Or, you know, 50 to 100%. So if you want to get the $300, you're going to end up spending $450 to $600 to get it. Like I said, if you're buying a couch, go for it. You know, if it's on your list to buy a couch from Temu, go for it. You'll get the money back. But if you're not buying a really big ticket item, or if you're not buying a lot of small ticket items, you're not going to get it. The things that work on Temu are the QQQQ, which is the calendar game. QQQ works, and it's 4 Qs. It's 4 of them, 4 Qs. And you just put that in the search bar and search it up. And if you're eligible for the calendar game, it will open up. You buy 2 items, and I usually buy the 2 cheapest items I can find, you know, whatever it is. And then you have to open it up one day for 20 to 30 days. I've got one that I have to open it for 30 days. I've got one that I have to open it for 20 days. And I've got one that I have to open it every day for 14 days. So, I mean, it varies the number of days that you actually have to open it. But if you open it every day for 14 days, 20 days, or 30 days, then you get what they're calling the ultimate prize. And that ultimate prize for me, and I don't know what it would be for you because it's user specific as based on how much you spend, is up to $60. My ultimate prize is up to $60. That's how I got all of the shelving racks that I'm going to use in the craft room for free, because they were like $58. And so I got like 6 of those shelving racks for free off of Temu for that. The other one that works is Get 100. And if you're eligible for Get 100, you buy 2 items, you open it for 14 days, and the last day is a 60 off 60 or a 42 off 42 coupon. And it really is a 60 off $60 coupon. So if I buy $60 worth of stuff, I get all of that for free. However, if I'm buying it from China, I also have to put enough on there so that I meet my minimum purchase, because that $60 does not go towards my minimum purchase requirement. So if my minimum purchase requirement is $20, which I think on most of my accounts it is right now, it varies from, like, you know, your minimum purchase might be $12, $15, $18, $20, $25, $30. It depends on how much you use Temu and what they think of you as a customer. And I really don't know how they figure that out. I don't know the algorithm for figuring out how much your minimum purchase is. But if I were to buy it from China, I would have to put $80 worth of stuff in my cart, because I still have to make my minimum purchase, but I would get $60 off of that $80. So that becomes what is that, an 80% off ticket? An 80% off coupon, 60 off of 80. No, it's 82% off, something like that. It's not actually bait and switch, because it is in the rules that you have to place 2 orders. But most people don't read the rules. Again, it's the same thing with WhatNot and their shipping. It's in the terms of service that you're going to be charged too much for shipping. But most people don't read that anymore. I mean, honestly, if a company wanted to put, you're going to give us your firstborn and your first $1 million into their terms of service, they would get a bunch of firstborns and first $1 million from people, because almost nobody reads terms of services anymore. And I have to admit that I don't read all terms of services. But, you know, I will read things sometimes, and I will figure out how it works. So it's not technically bait and switch, because you can actually get what they're asking you to do. And if you place in, instead of, and on this one, where is it? On this one, instead of buying just 2 items, if you actually buy the one big item like the couch, you'll get your money with 1 order. You really will. Another one is the blind boxes, and I've got one account that has 4 blind boxes, and I've got one account that's got 2 accounts that have 6 blind boxes. The same thing with the blind boxes. If you run through the blind boxes, you end up with $9.95 or $9.95 in your $10 thing. All right, so you've got 1 item for $2.99, 1 item for $1.99, 1 item for 99 cents, and 1 item for 99 cents if you have the 6 blind boxes. If you have 4 blind boxes, you get $2.99, $1.99, and 1 penny. And then the 4th blind box is just nothing. It's not worth talking about. And then if you go to your cart from this, and order something, then you're going to have to order over and over and over again to get the $10 credit that they're giving you. I do this because then I've got a $2.99 item in my cart. I've got a $1.99 item in my cart. And I've got a penny item in my cart. Or I've got a $2.99, $1.99, 99 cents, and a penny item in my cart. And then I leave that and I go to, what is it? It's Rebate 100. And this doesn't always work, but it's Rebate 100, and you can't read that. So I'm going to turn this over and write it out again. Rebate 100. All one word. There's no space there. It's Rebate 100. My brain puts a space in it because I write, but your brain hurts. I'm sorry, Valerie. I have been on Temu for over 3 years now. So, I mean, I have a lot of experience in this. And there have been some really good ones. For a while, they had Amazing Bundle, and they still have Amazing Bundle, but they've changed it. For a while, they had Amazing Bundle where you chose 8 items for free, and they gave you high dollar items like $10, $12 items, and then you had to buy 2 items to get them for free. And, you know, I could buy like small items for like $1. So I was getting $80 worth of stuff for $2. They figured out and they changed it. So the Amazing Bundle is not what it used to be. So every now and then one comes up that's really, really in your favor. and then they figure it out and they shut it down. But if you do rebate 100, sometimes these items show up in the list of things that you can buy, and you only have to buy 2 items. So if you do rebate 100, then you buy the 99-cent item that's like 60% off, and the penny item that's like 99% off, and the penny item can be anything up to like $5. So I bought a lot of embossing folders for a penny. And then I did rebate 100 and I got them that way. I don't do it through the blind box. I don't check out through the blind box. I check out through rebate 100 and get them that way. And eventually Temu's going to figure out these things and they're going to stop me from doing it. But they haven't figured that one out yet. And I've been doing that one for like, I have bought a bunch from them and they make my brain hurt. Yeah, they do. And the stupid wheel things. I will tell you one thing. If you have a wheel thing going and there's an X button, hit the X button. Every time that you have an X button and they got a wheel or a draw or a this or a that or a fancy thing, hit the X button and get rid of it because you don't need to watch it. And you absolutely do not need to watch it. They don't always give you the X out button, but if they do, X out of it because you do not need to watch it. You absolutely do not need to watch it to get whatever it is that they're advertising. And by the way, you always win, okay? In the calendar game, the first 2 days in the calendar game, there's something called a high-low game, and it doesn't matter what die. It's a 6-sided dice, and it lifts up a cup at an animation. It lifts up a cup. It doesn't matter if you have a 2, the other one's going to be a 1. And it doesn't matter if you have a 3, the other one's going to be a 2 or a 1. You always win, okay? You always win. There is no time on Temu that you're going to lose whatever it is that they're telling you. All right, you will always win. You will always get the highest spin. You will always get the highest reward. You will always win any game between you and Temu. All right, so there's like no stress at all because you're going to win whatever it is. But yeah, there are ways to get things for really good prices on Temu, and there are ways to not. I mean, there are ways to spend way too much money on Temu, and it's always it's always the most on the wheel. If you've got a $300 prize on the wheel, and then there's one, oh my gosh, it's driving me nuts right now because there's one of my accounts I cannot X out of it, so I have to spin the stupid wheel 3 times, and it annoys me. There's 3 prizes on there. There's $300 worth of coupons, a $2 off $2 coupon, and a $9 off $60 coupon, and then a you lose square. I don't know why they even put it there. And I have to spin it all 3 times because it does not give me the X out. It annoys me so bad. I want to X this out. I don't want to watch this. I know I get all 3. Just let me X it out. No! But it doesn't. It's a pain in the butt. It's a total pain in the butt. But yeah, another thing is you can watch all of my old, if you want to, you can watch my old live streams if you want to. I will talk about Temu a lot. If Temu comes up, I will give you everything that's going on in Temu and all the ways to save money on Temu at that point in time. But I never advertise that I'm talking about Temu because I don't want Temu to find my videos. Because if they find my videos, they'll figure out that the blind boxes are coming up in rebate 100, that the blind box prices are coming up in rebate 100, and they will shut it down. So I don't do that. I don't ever say that I'm talking about Temu, but I do talk about it a lot. There is a small print that says everyone gets the highest amount on the wheel. It's for entertainment. Yes, there is. There is. Everyone gets, it's for entertainment purposes. And I'm sorry, Temu, it's not entertaining. There is zero entertainment value. None. Zip zilch. Nada. None. Did Elena ever come in? I don't know. I never saw her. Did Elena ever come in? Because I don't know. If y'all haven't heard Elena's amazing news, I wanted y'all to hear it from Elena, but I also had something to show Elena, but I don't see her. I don't think she ever came in tonight. I wonder if she didn't get a notification because she's also a member. Man, YouTube is annoying me at this point. YouTube not sending notifications to my members is annoying me. Absolutely annoying me. Like no end. But anyway, so that was it. That was my little stories about WhatNot. And as I find out more about WhatNot, you thought she was here. I don't know. Amira Doris, because Elena usually is very, very kind and generous and things like that. So if something comes up, and she has a better way to do something, she's really kind and super generous about sharing what she knows. And I haven't seen any of that come up. So, and I just thumbed back through the chat, and there's not, I don't see a single chat from Elena. I don't know if Elena came in or not. But yeah, she did. She had some wonderful news. Oh my gosh, I wanted her to share her wonderful news if y'all hadn't heard. I don't know if I should share it because it's really not my news, but it's a wonderful, amazing news. If one of y'all knows and feels comfortable enough sharing it, go ahead and share it in the chat. I don't feel comfortable enough sharing it. But yeah, we made this beautiful piece of woven paper. Talked a little bit about WhatNot. And, you know, if WhatNot frustrates you, you're not alone. If you have any tendencies towards over purchasing things, do not get on WhatNot. It is way, yeah, okay, you were thinking about Amira. It is way too easy to spend money on WhatNot. If you have any sort of inkling where you are an overspender, don't get on WhatNot. I strongly recommend that you eschew WhatNot as much as possible. Stay as far away from it as you can. If you do set spending limits, know that there is a way around your spending limit, and WhatNot's not stopping you. I think WhatNot should stop you at 25. If you spent $24 and then you try to spend $3 more, WhatNot should say, nope, sorry, that's going to send you over your limit. Instead of saying, oh, go ahead, but now you can't spend anything else. You know, things like that. So WhatNot is, as a seller, I will say that WhatNot as a seller is 96% amazing, and 4% I want to tear my hair out. But I never did finish saying what I was saying about my shows at night. My late night shows between 12, I start sometime between midnight and 12:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and I stay on till the sun comes up at least. And I show stickers, and I talk about all of these different things, and anybody is welcome to come into my show, and there is no obligation to buy. There is no obligation to talk. There is no obligation to do anything in my show. If you just need emotional support background noise, I will sit there and yammer at you about whatever pops into my head for 6 hours. And there are several people. I feel so sorry when I raid new shows after my show is over, because it's got like 17 people in there and like 14 of them are asleep. And so the people that I raid go, oh, look, I'm getting 17 people. It's like, nah, you're getting 3 people that are awake and 14 people that are asleep. Because people do. They fall asleep to my show. They fall asleep during my show, and I'm okay with that. You know, there's no obligation to purchase. There's no obligation to chat. There's no obligation to do anything. But if you want to hear that there is another person on the planet, and if you want to hear that there's somebody that cares about you, you're welcome to come into my WhatNot shows. It's also Chatty Crafty. It is the same profile pic. You know, I'm the only, there's not a number or anything after my name. I'm just Chatty Crafty, and it's the same profile pic. And, you know, you're welcome to come in and hang out and, you know, chat if you want to, listen if you want to, you know, buy stickers, claim stickers if you want to. I'm not gonna, and I'm not gonna hunt you down to buy the stickers that you claim. I'm really not. I'm not that kind of seller. The one thing that I will say about drifted off quite contently on multiple occasions. There you go. See, Doris is one of those that uses mine as multiple background noise. But I will say that my room is one for authenticity. This is my sign that everybody sees in my room. Celebrate authenticity. Absolutely be your authentic self. And the only rule in my room is to demonstrate respect at all times. You cannot keep someone else from being their authentic self. You cannot be rude. You cannot be a bully. And I have Bubbles and Boom as my mods, and they will very quickly take care of the person who's being a bully and the person who got bullied. So yeah. What are these raids? A raid is when I end my show. When I go to end my show on WhatNot, I've given end show, and I'm given raid as my options. And if I create a raid, then I pick another seller who is live on WhatNot, and my entire audience gets moved to that new seller's room. Okay, so and this is a really valuable thing for sellers to do on WhatNot. Because when you raid into a new seller, most of the time that new seller, the person who's hosting the room, will tell their audience, you know, oh, look at that, we just got a raid from Chatty Crafty. Everybody follow Chatty Crafty and bookmark their shows. And so it gets you more followers and more bookmarks on your shows, so that when you do go live, then you've got like 30 people that have already bookmarked your show, and all 30 of them get notified the instant that you go live because they've bookmarked your show. You also get new followers out of it. So it's really important to do that. But the reason that the new seller is happy about that is because I'm pulling 17 people with me. You know, it's me and 16 other people that are being pulled into that room. They're like, oh, yay! And so they've got like 17 more people that are available to buy their stuff. But in reality, you know, over half of my audience is asleep. So they're not going to buy anything because they're sleeping. So yeah, and occasionally I wake up, chat for a bit, and then get sleepy. Yeah, that's fine. May or may not claim a sticker or two. That's fine. And like I said, if you don't, there are people who claim stickers that I know are never going to pay for them. I'm just absolutely positive that they're never going to pay for them. I know it, you know, because they're classically, they just never pay for their stickers. And I'm okay with that because it's not costing me anything. I'm going to be online anyway. You know, I'm going to be sit there yammering till 6 o'clock in the morning so that I don't fall asleep at night because the night terrors have gotten unbelievably horrible. You know, I am absolutely terrified of falling asleep at night now because my night terrors have gotten absolutely horrible. It used to be that I took Saturday morning, Saturday midnight, you know, 12 a.m. Saturday morning off. I'm going to be on in less than 2 hours. I'm going to be back on WhatNot in less than 2 hours because I don't want to risk falling asleep. Like I said, my night terrors have been unbelievably horrendous lately. So I don't want to fall asleep at night. And what I think is happening, and I don't know, I'm definitely not a psychologist, but what I think is happening is I wake up a little bit and I open my eyes a little bit. And because there's no light outside, there's no light coming in through the windows, it tells my brain that I am in darkness and that I am unsafe, and my brain goes instantaneously into night terror, which wakes me up and gives me a panic attack. And my panic attacks are so brutal to me because I scream the entire time that I'm having a panic attack. I wail like a banshee the entire time. Inhale, exhale, it doesn't matter. I'm wailing like a banshee. And it really tears up my throat really badly. And I don't want to do that. I absolutely don't want to do that. So I'm avoiding sleeping at night as much as I possibly can. Beady crafts and more. Yay, Beady in the house. I do that every night. I stay up until my body gives out. Yeah, see, and you know, I honestly think that a lot of the reason that I'm having this, I narrowed it down to 2 or 3 things. Number one, I don't have a therapist right now. I don't. Yeah, I do not have the opportunity to see my therapist right now. I do not have the opportunity to start over with a new therapist because no, not starting over, thank you. And the other therapist that I was seeing, you know, last 2 weeks ago said, no, we're done because I can't help you. I am not good enough to help you. I do not have the skills. I am a therapist, but I can't be therapeutic for you. Like, all right, fine. You know, loser. But anyway, so I don't have therapy right now. I have my psychiatrist, but in the state of Florida, psychiatrists are pill pushers. They're not allowed to do therapy in the safe state of Florida. They're only allowed to prescribe medication, which is stupid. But there's that. And then panic attacks take so much energy. They are awful, yeah. And the last time I had a panic attack, I woke up to a night terror. I had a panic attack. I tried playing my game on my phone, you know, one of those stupid word games where you like concentrate on something, so you're trying to take your mind off. In the middle of another word game, I had another panic attack, and it was like, I can't do this. I cannot keep doing this. So I get on WhatNot and yammer at people because it keeps me awake. But yeah, so right now I don't have therapy right now. And then there's this thing coming up just after the holiday that is just absolutely just grinding down on me immensely, and it's like it's sitting on top of me at all times. I can't shake it. So there's that. But panic attack, yeah, they take so much energy. Yep, I get that. I get that. I really do. But yeah, so if you just want somebody to yammer at you, you're welcome to come into my room. You can claim stickers if you want to. I'm okay if you don't ever buy them. Enough people buy the stickers that makes it, you know, worthwhile for me to do it. And enough people don't buy the stickers that I'm okay with that because I'm not out anything. Like I was saying, I'm not out anything. It's not like I mailed you the stickers and you didn't pay for them. No, the stickers never left my possession. They just got taken out of rotation for a while. They'll go back into rotation after a while. No big deal. I don't care. You know, so if you want to claim stickers, go ahead and claim stickers. I'll just take them out of rotation for a while. If you don't pay, I'm fine with that. I'm not going to hunt you. I'm not going to hunt you down. I'm not going to tell you can't ever come into my room again. That's not who I am. You know, I'm literally doing it for mental health reasons. I'm literally doing it to spread the knowledge that mental health is a huge issue in the United States, that we need to improve on it, and we need to make it better, and we need to, you know, we need to get with the program, because as far as mental health goes, I honestly think that we are the bottom of the barrel, the absolute bottom of the barrel. I mean, I know you've heard me say it before. If you've been in my shows before, I know you've heard me say this before. There is a television station in the UK, a television station that does more to support people's mental health than anything I've found in the United States of America. A television station. Literally a television station. Oh, let's show some entertainment. Oh, and by the way, here is an entire clearinghouse of everything available to you to help you with your mental health issues. It's channel4.com/support. Channel, the number 4.com/support. You can go there from here, and you can look at the entire clearinghouse of organizations and agencies and people and programs that are available to help people with mental health issues in the UK. A television station. A television station. Let that sink in. A television station. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Channel 4. Everybody who knows me knows this. Everybody who's listened to me at any point in time knows this. That's things that you're going to hear in my show. You're going to hear about Channel 4. You're going to hear about Haddon Sunbloom, because Haddon Sunbloom comes up all the time. And I'm going to teach you something about science. And I'm going to talk to you about mental health. And I'm going to talk to you about my journey. And I'm going to talk to you about these things. I mean, that's what you're going to hear. You are, and you're going to hear me say that I'm aliving loudly in the hopes that other people don't unalive quietly, that my will to survive is longer, wider, deeper in the canyon on Mars. Don't know why, but it is. And I am aliving loudly in the hopes that others don't unalive quietly. If you need to borrow some of my will to survive, there you go. You can have some of my will to survive. I will share it with you. You know, please don't pick a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And another one that I recently learned was, you have survived 100% of your bad days. You know, you can keep doing that. Yeah, Santa. Haddon Sunbloom is Santa. Well, technically Santa is Haddon Sunbloom. But yeah, so if you're ever in my shows, you're going to hear about Haddon Sunbloom. If ever I'm doing any stickers that have Christmas on them, then there's a Santa in there. Haddon Sunbloom is going to come up. And I'm telling you right now, Haddon Sunbloom is the answer to $1 million Who Wants to Be a Millionaire question. So if you happen to be on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and Haddon Sunbloom comes up as the $1 million question, you can sit there and whoop, whoop, and go, yeah, I know this, I know this, I know this, I know this, because I listened to Chatty Crafty. Just saying. But anyway, I've been on for almost for an hour and almost 2 hours now. Wait, I started at 8. I started at 9:30. Now 10:49. Nope. Can't do math. I've been on for an hour and 20 minutes. So I'm gonna go now. I don't know how much y'all got on your bingo cards, because I didn't do a whole lot of the stuff that I normally do. So because I wove paper instead of doing my silly things that I normally do, I actually had a plan tonight. Oh my gosh, Chatty Crafty had a plan. Oh, no way! Oh my gosh, how cray-cray is that? No way! But anyway, thank you very much, everybody, for being here. I am so happy to know you all. Lisa, BD, Valerie, you think you joined a few months ago? Cool. Oh, you missed the... Well, it's going to be up, Amira. You can rewatch the weaving part. I actually learned it from Paper Alchemy. So this isn't even mine. This is from Paper Alchemy. And so I learned it from Paper Alchemy on WhatNot. She learned it from someone on Instagram, I think, or TikTok. So, I mean, it's making the rounds. It's making the rounds through all of the different social medias. So, a plan. I know, right? I know, BD. A plan. Oh, my gosh. Chatty Crafty had a plan today. That's cray-cray. So, but I'm going to end this here. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Replay crew, you are amazing, and I absolutely adore you as well. You know, you don't have to be here at the beginning. And the post for putting up your bingo cards is going to be open till Sunday. So if you're part of the replay crew, you can still get your bingo cards in. I'm like weeks behind on giving away my artist trading cards, but eventually I'll get back in there and I'll do that for all the people that want an artist trading card for their bingo cards. Darn, took that one off this week. Oh no. So yes, everybody have an awesome weekend. Have an amazing rest of your Friday. If you still have an amazing rest of your Friday, however much is left. Or if you're watching from another country, have an amazing Saturday. And I hope that everybody has a very therapeutic night's sleep or very therapeutic day's sleep, whichever you go for. And I appreciate you immensely. And please, please, please do not choose the permanent solution to a temporary problem. Oh my gosh. I don't know if y'all heard what I almost said there, but I mean, if y'all heard it, you can go back and listen to it. If you heard what I almost said there, oh my gosh. Please do not choose the permanent solution to a temporary problem. And, you know, just if you need professional help, please go find professional help. I am not a professional. I am just a person that can share and commiserate with you. That's who I am, and I'm more than willing to yammer at you all night so that you know that you're not alone. And I appreciate each and every one of you. You heard it. Yeah, you heard it. Oh my gosh. That would be a Freudian slip there, right there. That would be a very Freudian slip. Whoopsies. Anyway, cheers and happy crafting.